If you told me in 2021 while graduating that in 2025 you'll be a director of or leading a growth of one startup which is emerging as global audio OTT platform, I would have laughed it off at that point in time. And I always feel like every moment that you spend wasting, someone else is already planning to beat you at that very moment, right?
We have a couple who met in IIM Lucknow and now are doing a startup together. So we have Manavdeep, Singh, Grover, and Gurjot, Kaur. Please give a huge round of applause and welcome them on stage. A quick round of introduction and then we slowly start up with our session. So we'll start with you and then.
Sure. I'm Manavdeep. I'm also an engineer who turned MBA from IIM Lucknow back in 2019. Before that, in between, I was also almost there to become a MotoGP racer for Honda. But then life took a turn, and then eventually I had to attempt CAT and go into the MBA circle or the loop, you can say. So yeah, IIM Lucknow has been very humbling and very learning experience for me. I'll come to it maybe later on, but the best thing about IIM Lucknow was that I could do a lot of things which I didn't find time earlier on. And I also graduated with the All-Rounders medal. So yeah, I think, thanks. So academics was not the only thing that I did at IIM. That's the reason I got that medal. But yes, post that, I think I have had around 5.5 years of work experience. I started with Amazon first, then switched to Meesho, wanted to try some startups, and then now recently Pocket. So yeah, the good thing which I never expected, and the recent post also that I made on LinkedIn was that if you told me in 2021 while graduating that in 2025 you'll be a director of or leading a growth of one startup which is emerging as global audio OTT platform, I would have laughed it off at that point in time. But I think God has been kind to me and picking the right opportunities and doing the right thing without going too much into diplomacy or what corporate culture really is has actually helped me a lot. So I always felt that you have to be a part of that circle or that politics to become something better. But thankfully, with zero, I would say exactly zero interaction and going into that direction, the career has been very humbling and enriching for me. So yeah, over to Gurjot, and we'll discuss more about it later on. Yeah.
So hi everyone. Again, an engineer turned MBA. I feel like I've had a very unconventional journey. I did engineering in food technology. Then I did agribusiness management. I was always passionate about marketing, so I got into marketing growth. Then I got into content. Have enjoyed it, very much. I did consulting also for a bit, but I felt like that is not my cup of tea. But now I think I'm finally at that stage of life now where we both are starting up together. And I feel like I had been waiting and preparing myself for this moment. So I think that is the most interesting part about me, how this journey, has shaped me in a sense. I took a lot of pivots and I never thought of that, I'm risking too much, or I was not scared to risk it at all. So I think that has made all the difference. So yeah, maybe we can start and then we can deep dive.
Just wanted to understand both of yours MBA journey and how was IIM Lucknow. So if you can probably share some anecdotes or your fun, memorable experiences from IIM Lucknow and how did you both meet?
I had zero idea of what CAT is, even when I was attempting, right? I just prepared for 4 months for CAT. That is also because I couldn't become the MotoGP racer. So there was a situation in life that I had a health issue and I had 4 months to attempt. So I just gave it as a practice. Let's see if I crack, otherwise I'll do it with full force in the next year, right? So I cracked it. So I had no idea what are the kind of domains even that exist when you go through MBA, right? Because I was always a R&D person at Honda. I like designing. So I felt like engineering is one thing that I only want to do. What will I do with MBA? Because that was my passion, the designing, automotive and all those things. But yeah, when I joined IIM Lucknow, all I know was at that time it was the fourth best IIM, and that's all. Let's see what happens. I had no mentorship. I had no idea what I have to do to become what. I applied into almost all clubs and committees without knowing what it means to go into what. And then yes, I was in Team Disha. I don't know you know or not, but it's one of the best committees at IIM Lucknow. It helps in placements and preparation, and that's where I also met a lot of people. And of course, I joined inside IIM during IIM Lucknow itself. So yeah, I started up, I think, at IIM Lucknow with zero idea. Got into a very good committee. Then got into Amazon. That was the first ever interview I went into. I cracked it, so I was not even allowed to sit into any other interviews post that. Then went to Amazon, cracked PPO, came back, joined Amazon again. Now in all this thing, there was a COVID period, so almost 9 months outside the campus, staying at home. Then did a lot of case competitions. I think the only thing that I feel like that has made most sense to me was cracking these case competitions wholeheartedly. We won 17 national case competitions. I almost paid my one whole quarter fees by just prize money from these case competitions. So yeah, I also took a loan for MBA, but my whole fees was paid with case competitions, and that's how I met Gurjot. She was into marketing cell. I wanted person who can also do some more crack marketing kind of case competitions. We met each other. We formed a team and we stayed together for 2 years to just continue cracking. And there were 2 more with us. So we were a team of 4 people always together. And yes, I think we won Amazon Ace Nationals. She won Mondelez. Then we were United Nations Hult Prize winners. We won EU hackathons. And I think academics is one part of it, but being very close to your professors non-academically has worked a lot, because I used to take a lot of guidance from them for case competitions, which they also felt very different, because they are only people only reach out to them for exams or for academics, right? So I had a very good connect with professors because I used to solve some other problems, and that's why I even connect with them today, right? If I need some help. Plus, I think going into the corporate finals, seeing how the actual problems exist in these companies, has also connected me with a lot of people whom I may or may not work in the future, but they know me as a person because we have been face to face, at least for the case comps. So yeah, I think that has been very different for me. I utilized those 8-9 months of COVID period at home just cracking cases, because classes were online. It was not as interesting, to be honest. So we had to do something, and I figured out, apart from watching Ramayana in the morning, this is second thing that I can do, right? Spending evenings cracking cases. So yeah, I think I'll not go much deeper until I'm asked to. But yeah, Gurjot.
Okay, so for me, the journey was a little different. I got into food technology, and in the very first year, I realized this is not for me. And I have been a very active individual, even during school, doing all the curriculars, even bunking classes just to, dance competition hai, ye hai. So I did the same in engineering also. I was doing co-research projects. I was doing, I was part of Enactus. I hope some of you guys would know it. So yeah, so I was part of Enactus. I was doing my arts club, heading the arts club. It was during Enactus that I was leading one of the projects. We took that project to the finals and we won it. And for the very first time, my department, my college had won Enactus. And that was life-changing for us. Being on that stage, talking about your project, your idea, it was very, surreal for me. And then once that happened, I felt like there was no going back. I didn't want to do, food technology. I didn't want to go into engineering core. And I decided that, the next logical step is do an MBA, learn what business is all about. And that happened at IIM Lucknow also. I knew I liked marketing. I always had a knack for it. So I joined the marketing club. Even though, I was into the agribusiness management, I spent most of my time reading marketing cases, going for case competitions in marketing, right? But I was also trying my hands at other different things. And I think here Manav helped me a lot. It's very important that you have a group of people during your MBA that support you, because you might not have knowledge about everything, right? you will need people from different domains coming in and teaching you, especially when you are a fresher like me, right? People come with their experiences, their domain knowledge, and they help you understand it better. There, Manav has helped me a lot. A lot of other my friends have helped me a lot. And while we were cracking these case competitions, every case competition felt like a new learning opportunity, a new challenge that helped me deep dive into the different sectors. That actually I think has shaped me in those 2 years. So I feel like IIM Lucknow has been, that one chapter of my life that has shaped me who I am today, right? So that was the IIM Lucknow journey. Now, we started a EV business together at IIM Lucknow. This was part of the United Nations Hult Prize. We couldn't continue it further. We went our own separate ways. Then I did consulting for a year. But I always felt like, I need to do something of my own. Yaar. This is not me. I really enjoyed that in Actus Wala phase. I have enjoyed case competitions. This is definitely not me, even though it was very comfortable. Consulting at MasterCard is very comfortable. It's very nice. People are very nice, good culture. But something always felt missing. So I think then I took a leap of faith and I joined startups. I worked at Meesho, I worked at Pocket. And now finally that, we have a breakthrough in our minds, then, this feels like a logical step going ahead. Yeah.
Are you incentivized at B schools to pursue other things alongside your acads?
I don't think we are incentivized. If you are in a committee or a club which is, let's say, one of the top 5, you will have a lot of work even in the committees, right? Especially I was in a placement prep team, so I had to take slots with a lot of even my seniors and my junior batch based on if I was senior or junior. So that took a lot of time because every slot is CV review, right? I used to do, I think I have done 100 CV reviews at campus and of course post that separately. But every time you sit with someone, you need 30 to 45 minutes at least to go through their profile, make those changes, suggest them what they can do next. So one thing is your academic, second thing is committee, and then you have your personal time. And the personal time starts after dinner, right? So that's where you can actually crack if you want to do something else. Now that's where people take different routes. So I'm a non-drinker, non-smoker, so I wasn't very social, right? So I felt like I had less number of friends who were also not drinkers. So lesser friends helped me in this case because I was always in my room. There were party going outside in the campus. People are drinking. I am solving. And I always feel like every moment that you spend wasting, someone else is already planning to beat you at that very moment, right? So I used to believe in that theory, that if you waste an hour, someone else will utilize that hour to do something better than you. And even now when we work in corporates, I feel like I am replaceable if someone else does a better job than me. And now I am starting up. Anyone can start up, right? Anyone can even copy my own idea. And if they do a better job, they will win, right? It's all about how much better you are. And everyone has those 24 hours, right? So I'll be honest, I don't think we should compromise our health because I had been through a health setback into IIM. So health was always my priority, right? So I always deprioritize parties because I knew if I want to sleep, I have to leave a party, right? Which runs till 4 a.m. in the morning. Of course, I was a part of some parties because otherwise I would have been...
I had to drag him out.
Yeah. Because otherwise I would have been completely non-social, which I am not. And when you are in a committee which has to guide people, right? You can't be non-social or anti-social. So yeah, I started as an introvert, left as an ambivert, I would still say. But time, I think it was all about weekends or late evenings, late nights when you sit, have a whiteboard, keep thinking what you can do separately, what you can do differently from others. And it was, I think, more about ideas than time, right? Quality time is important than number of hours. I don't think I compromised a lot on my sleep unless there was an exam next day and I don't know what the syllabus is, of course. But I think I could manage everything above average. I was in the, I think, top 10 percentile of the batch also academically. So it was not like I'm an average in terms of CGPA. I ensured that CGPA doesn't suffer. And see, I have always been good with maths. So anytime there was a mathematical or something, I knew I could study less and just get it done with, right? So you have to identify what are your strengths, right? I used to not attempt case competitions, let's say something on fintech, because I knew it will take a lot of research and I don't know how finance works, right? So choose your goals wisely, choose your challenges wisely, and understand what differentiates you from others and double down on it, right? So you don't have unlimited time at MBA, especially in the first quarter. I think when you join a B school, on the day one, seniors will start asking you to prepare for summers. Now here is what I'll tell you. I did something very not much pleasing to the seniors. I did not attend the one-on-ones with my seniors. I kept that time for myself. I felt like a lot of gyan was not necessary, to be very honest. People wanted me to come to them, show my CV, make some changes. I trusted 2-3 people more, and I just continued talking to them. You might not have that privilege, else people will start keeping you out. But somehow I managed it well, and that gave me time. So in the first quarter itself, I cracked TAS, case competition for TAS, right? So that was the first that kick that I got, that okay, this is something I can do. And in that competition, even the senior batch was participating, right? Still we could crack it, and we realized that okay, it doesn't matter if you are already 1 year into the B school or not. It's all about ideation. And from there onwards, I think I have spent maximum time on either going into the classes or doing case. No, nothing in between, right? So yeah, I think that's how you can find time. It will take you 2-3 months. I'll be very honest. You can't settle down in a B school on day one. And first week, you will not even know what has happened to you, right? We shouldn't say it as ragging, but you will feel like you are being into the ragging, because you will not get sleep, right? And your body will start getting irritated without someone even disturbing you, right? So I think prepare well for the first week. Post that, everything is easy. And first week is also more about introductions with the seniors. I don't know, I have read a lot of articles online which talk about pathetic cultures at beat school. That's not true, right? I have been through that, and I have been the anti-social person, so you can understand it was easy to drag me into those things, because if you are not vocal, people can always misuse you, right? But nothing of that sort really happens. Of course, there are a few cases, but that also depends on people to people, right? It's similar to saying that you might work in a great company with a stupid manager, and you will feel the company is very bad, correct? So there might be 1 or 2 people who you want to avoid. But culture-wise, it's not like ingrained in the B school culture that we will have to disturb the junior batch in the first week. I think they make you ready for what is about to come in your life. And they also do it by giving you work and not giving you any random things to do, right? So you will see a lot of activities being given to you. Write let's say, 10-pager on something, or do an activity or solve a case. And the deadlines will be very strict. This is what you can expect in the first week. And it would be looking to you like a competition, that if you do it faster than your other batchmates, we'll make you a class representative, or we'll give you something that people will know you better, right? But it's not toxic, right? Of course, if you start being abusive and rude to your seniors, you will feel that they are rude to you. But it's nothing like that. B school is very clean. There might be 2-3 people, of course. You will find 2-3 people here also, right? So that's human, right? You can't take the traits out of a human being. But culture-wise, it's fairly sorted. IIM Lucknow is not hell because of a culture. It's because of other reasons, right? So yeah, again, I have not been paid by IIM Lucknow to say about it.
I'll keep this short. I had a very different journey than when I partied a lot, okay? I enjoyed. I danced till 4 a.m. with my friends. But you just have to remember one thing, balance things. Have clarity for what you want to do. Even if you, let's say, don't have clarity in the beginning, that's fine. Reach out to your seniors. They'll guide you. You know, as he mentioned, there are always very good people at any place, right? Be it a company or a B school, right? Those 2-3 people will guide you. Specifically, if you get into committees, it's helpful, right? Then people feel like you are one of their own, so they'll guide you more. Yeah, so find those people for yourselves. They'll guide you, chart a path for you that suits you. don't give in into everything that others say. I think this was one of the good examples that he gave. I did the same. वो बोलते हैं कि CV दिखाओ, you know, until and unless आपने 70-80 iterations नहीं किए अपने CV के, you are not doing good. I think I also didn't do that because one, it was a lot of hassle. I was already struggling balancing a lot of things. Second, freshers को थोड़ा ये रहेगा कि मैं ना experience लेके नहीं आया हूँ. Will a company even shortlist me? वो pressure रहता है. Then you try to do extra things that can, you know, show on your CV that you have done, you know, your best since you have come here. So वो बहुत सारे pressures हैं, बहुत सब कुछ balance करोगे ना, तो you will get confused. But अगर अपना path clear रखो, know what you want to do, don't get into what other people are doing, then I think you're fine. Just stay true to what you want to do. Yeah.
I think I'll add one thing, and this will really help you because when I joined B School, I hardly had any spikes on the CV, right? So I'll be very honest. People talk about having spikes on your CV, but when I ended the B School, I think I had the maximum spikes on my CV, right? So it's not about entering the B School by doing 10 big things. You are not entering Harvard, right? So it's okay. You can enter as a very basic common person, right? But end it at a very high note, right? So those 2 years are sufficient to end it at a very high note. And today I'm sitting 5 years after graduation still talking about IIM Lucknow is because I could find those 10 things to talk about it, right? So create your journey during the campus. It's okay if you didn't have it till date. If you had it, great, double down on it and you will become even better. But it's okay. I remember I used to write my CV and I felt like I have just designed vehicles, right? What is that spike? Apart from academics, of course, mentioning the percentages in plus 2 and 10th, that's the only thing, right? But yes, when I ended, there was an entrepreneurship experience. There were 17 case competitions written, a very good committee, right? And till date, I am using the similar CV, right? So of course, I'm adding more things as I have more work experience. But I still keep that entrepreneurship on my CV, right? Because it actually makes you different from others. So yeah.
That's beautiful. One thing I wanted to discuss regarding your B School journey, and then we move on to careers and other things, okay? You spoke about having risk appetite, and you both spoke about entrepreneurship very highly. And you started something during a B School that was related to EV. So for somebody, personally, if I say I don't have that big of a risk appetite, I'm totally building that because that is necessary for you to have exponential growth in your career, right? So I'm building as I speak. But for somebody who wants to kind of develop this and, you know, and they'll be exploring their life in B schools, and I'm sure they are very excited because hearing from you trying out different things and how you emphasized right now the importance of it's okay to enter with a normal CV, but you can create those spikes in those 2 years. So two things, what would your advice be for somebody to develop that risk appetite and be comfortable with it during the B school journey if they can learn something? And second is, can you just elaborate more on your entrepreneurial experience, because I wanted to connect this point later when you speak about what you're doing right now.
I think for risk appetite, one thing that is important is look at the outcomes. And I'll make it very simple for you. Whatever you do, look at the outcomes that you are able to generate. Giving an example, let's say you are trying to solve a case for, let's say, Amazon, right? So they are asking you to crack a specific problem. Now, when you created an outcome, look at how people perceive your outcome. Are you able to actually think more like a strategic person, or you are very into L3, L4 level that you are not able to come out of it and think more at a wider horizon? Let's say you are solving a problem, you want to be an entrepreneur. You can't solve a problem which is so niche that there are hardly 1 lakh people, and out of them, they are divided into 5 categories. And then there are 4 companies already, market is saturated. So your TAM is hardly, let's say, 10K people, and 10% will convert. So you can't create a big company with just 1,000 paying users, right? So always try to think the problem that you want to solve and the solutions that you are generating from your ideas, are they big enough that they impact a bigger audience or bigger TG, right? Or a bigger TAM. And this you will not, again, first year of MBA, you might just learn these things, right? And it's completely okay. I don't know how I got confidence to sit in front of you and talk about it, but it has been a process. It hasn't been a one-day thing. And 2020, 1 year into IIM Lucknow, I couldn't have been sitting and talking like this with you guys. So I think keep trying multiple things, but don't consider your hard work as the outcome. There are a lot of people who say, I am a hard worker, I can do anything. I'll again differ with this thought, because just hard work is not sufficient to become an entrepreneur, right? And I don't think entrepreneurs only have to exist as separate individuals running their own companies. I have worked at Pocket and Meesho like an entrepreneur, and that's the reason I have gotten one of the fastest promotions in both these companies, right? And you will have to have that mindset, and it's okay if you spend 20 years into corporate. Have an entrepreneurship mindset, and you will see that your managers and founders would love it, because they need those people. And now when I will hire people, I would find people who have failed as an entrepreneur but generated something out of it. So try to see if you have outcomes. Outcomes can be winning or losing, that's completely okay. But are you able to, let's say, generate some revenue, improve some conversion rates, increase traffic, anything? Again, this depends on the case that you're solving. But if you are able to improve something and you are able to do it very fast, that means that you are on the right track. And now post that, all you need to do is continue pushing yourself in the same direction, right? Entrepreneurship is more around outputs. There are so many people who start up, right? But not every startup actually goes even till seed stage, right? A lot of startups die down even at the bootstrap phase. So you will have to see, and I am a very outcome focused person. I don't look at people who are just hard workers. It's okay if you work 5 hours a day, but if you are able to create better impact out of those 5 hours, I'll choose you versus a 10-hour working person, right? So that's why I also believe that people who ask, stay in office, work 6 days from office, that theory doesn't work if the people are not internally driven. So have a drive inside you that I want to do something different. Have a goal in your mind that this is what I want to achieve. I always had this habit of manifestation. I don't know the theory of manifestation, but what I simply do is I just write down on a piece of paper that I want to do this by this time. So I set a deadline and a goal. It might be very, very heavyweight, but 80-90% of the times I am able to get that. I don't know how. Again, I don't know how manifestation works. So I don't listen to people who give a lot of gyan around manifestation. I just do this one simple thing. I have done it for my startup also. And till May, we are still achieving those numbers. So I'm happy that these things are working out, right? So have a goal, have a person or someone you want to follow, and don't follow just because you like that person. See if their words match what you want. So let's say there are a lot of people who keep saying a lot of things in public places, right? If you think that this resonates with you, the things that they tell you, try to follow them and see what do they do outside just being on social media. Or, for example, a lot of people would like to follow Nikhil Kamath, right? But see if those words actually resonate with you, right? A lot of people would like to follow Steve Jobs, right? So I also had this kind of, and I keep changing this person, right? So every 6 months I have a new person I want to follow, and then I just start reading more about them, the process that they use. So for outcome, you have to have a process, and for process, you might have to copy someone, but copying doesn't mean that you just wake up and do everything that they do at the exact same time. See what drives them, and can you also have similar drive for yourself, right? I think a lot of gyan has just happened, but this is just coming out of my mind. Like I think that has worked for me.
I think you've covered it pretty much. In general, not about, let's say, entrepreneurship. In general, start small. Take smaller risks first, where, let's say, you have little things to lose. There is always something you'll lose, right? So start small, build your confidence ki haan, this thing works for me, I can do it. Make that proof of concept for yourself. I think this is, I will want to give our example, entrepreneurship wala. I've seen Manav, I've seen him grow, right? Especially in the last 3 years after our marriage, I have closely seen him work on things, excel at it. I know his track record, okay? That is why I was the one pushing him on a date, ki yaar, shuru kyun nahi kar rahe ho? Every time you see a Shark Tank pitch, you are like, yaar, ye to main bhi kar sakta hu, then karo. Like, this is exactly what happened. We were on a date and I pushed him to start. And I pushed him first to start. I was like, ghar mein sambhal lungi, tum karo, right? So, apne liye na pehle, start small, see how things pan out for you, set your direction, have clarity again around your goal, and जब आपके पास proof of concept होगा ना कि things are working for you, then you automatically have that appetite for bigger risks. Then you are okay sacrificing a few things and saying कि I'll take this leap of faith and then maybe I'll be able to do it. So I think that is the whole process that happens.
Excellent.
Not everything has to be perfect. जुगाड़ से काम हो जाते हैं. So if let's say I've started, एक project जिसमें A part मैं कर रही हूँ, वो A part पे I've done 80% of the things. I feel like this is fine. I can move to the next one. वो 80-20 rule हर जगह apply करता है. वो 80% काम जल्दी हो जाता है. The 20% left is going to take more bandwidth, but maybe that's not even important. So I need to switch to B, do it, and then when I have time, I can come back. So set processes for yourself. Confidence comes once you have started achieving things. You start working on it. Maybe you will fail in 10, but you will succeed in 2.
MBA will give you enough chances, enough time to be what you are not maybe today, and go out with so many spikes that you don't even care about you entered without any spike.